The Galactic Council chamber fell silent when the human delegation arrived. Ambassador Rin walked with measured steps, her scarred hands clasped behind her back. The assembled species, Velcrin with their crystalline exoskeletons, the gaseous Nathari floating in containment spheres, the towering Kraith, all turned their attention to the small, bipedal creature who had requested this emergency session. "We come to address war crimes," Rin announced, her voice carrying through the translators. Council Speaker Vorath, a Velcrin whose body reflected light in prismatic patterns, clicked his mandibles dismissively. "More human complaints. Your species joined the galactic community merely 3 cycles ago. You understand nothing of warfare." Rin's jaw tightened. "Then allow me to educate you." The holographic display activated, showing footage from the colony world of Tears of Mourning. Human settlers, families, children, elderly, going about peaceful agricultural work. Then came the Kraith Raiders, descending in atmospheric craft. What followed made even the most battle-hardened council members shift uncomfortably. The Raiders hadn't come for resources or territory. They had come for sport. The footage showed a young human girl, no more than 10 standard years old, cornered by 3 Kraith warriors. Each stood 3 meters tall, their 6 limbs ending in razor-sharp talons. They circled her slowly, their translator implants broadcasting their jeering laughter across the settlement. "Look how it trembles," one Kraith had said. "Shall we see if it bleeds the same color as the livestock?" another asked. The girl, whose name was Tarek, had done what any terrified child would do. She screamed for her mother. She begged them to stop. She promised she would be good, promised anything if they would just leave her alone. They found her voice hilarious. Rin paused the footage just as the Kraith raised their talons. "Do you know what they did next, Council Speaker?" Vorath remained silent. "They cut her. Not fatally, they were far too skilled for that. They cut her vocal cords first, because they thought her screaming was unpleasant. Then they continued their entertainment for 6 hours. The chamber erupted in overlapping translations, species calling out in their various languages. Rin waited for the chaos to subside. "The Kraith," she continued, "are protected under council law. They argue this was a cultural misunderstanding, that by human standards, Tarek was a child, but by Kraith standards, she was old enough to defend herself. They claim no crime occurred." Ambassador Throck of the Kraith delegation stood, his massive frame dwarfing the podium. "Our laws are clear. The weak exist to be culled. If humanity cannot protect its offspring, that is humanity's failure, not ours." Rin smiled then, and something in that expression made the temperature in the chamber seem to drop. "I'm glad you said that, Ambassador Throck, because you see, Tarek survived." The hologram shifted, showing a medical facility. A young woman sat on the edge of a bed, her throat bandaged, her eyes hollow, but alive. "Tarek spent 2 years learning to speak again," Rin said softly. Not with her voice, that was gone forever, but with her hands, with written language, with determination that would make your warriors weep. And when she turned 17 standard years, still a cub by your reckoning, Ambassador Throck, she enlisted in the human military. Another image appeared. Tarek, now 19, wearing the dark uniform of humanity's Special Operations Division. Her expression was calm, professional, empty of emotion. 3 months ago, Rin continued, Tarek volunteered for a special assignment, a deep reconnaissance mission into Kraith space, gathering intelligence on raiding operations. Throck's eyes narrowed. "That is an act of war." "No," Rin corrected. "That would be an act of war." The hologram changed again. This time it showed the interior of a Kraith command ship. 3 Kraith warriors lay on the deck, alive but paralyzed by human neural toxins. Standing over them was Tarek holding a combat knife. The audio activated. Tarek's hands moved in sign language, which the computer translated into speech. "Do you remember the colony world? The human girl? The one whose screaming you found so funny?" Recognition dawned in the Kraith warrior's eyes, the same 3 who had tortured her 7 years prior. Tarek knelt beside the first warrior. Her knife moved with surgical precision, making a small incision at the warrior's throat, the same location where her own vocal cords had been severed. "I learned something interesting," the translation continued as Tarek worked. "Kraith vocal organs regenerate. It takes about a year, but they grow back, unlike humans, so I can do this over and over." She moved to the second warrior. I also learned that Kraith pain receptors are significantly more sensitive than human ones. What was mildly uncomfortable for me would be agony for you. The third warrior received the same treatment. Tarek stood, wiping her blade clean. She made one final sign, which the computer translated with perfect clarity. Still funny with your voice gone? The hologram ended. The council chamber sat in stunned silence. Finally, Vorath spoke. This is barbaric. Torture. You present this as evidence? No, Rin said. I present this as a lesson. Ambassador Throck said the weak exist to be culled. That if we cannot protect our offspring, it is our failure. But here's what your council doesn't understand about humans. We don't stay weak. We don't stay cubs. We remember. We learn, we adapt. And when you hurt our children? She leaned forward, her eyes sweeping across every delegate in the chamber. We become the thing you should have feared from the beginning. Rin straightened. Humanity formally withdraws from the Galactic Council. We will defend our colonies with whatever means necessary. And to species like the Kraith who believe strength is measured by cruelty? She smiled that cold smile again. Pray your warriors never meet a human who has nothing left to lose. The human delegation walked out, leaving the council to contemplate a universe where humanity no longer played by their rules. In a medical facility light years away, Tarek sat in silence, her hands folded in her lap, and waited for her next assignment.